Testing. Testing. Is this thing on? I don't know what happened. Internet went bloop, and then I lost everything and all of the things. And so sorry about that. Technology stinks. Maybe Google heard me talking trash about them. I don't know. They came in and like, uh, so yeah, I don't know what the heck happened there. But for those of you who were patient and followed me over here, hopefully other people who are around will follow me over here. The thing that I'm kind of bummed about though is that I lost the whole chat. And there were a bunch of chats that I wanted to look at and talk about, and they're gone now. So if you asked a question and it was in the original one, then either if you're catching this live or on the replay, just put it in the description later, and I guess we'll try to get to it. Yeah, I'm super bummed. I had like 10 minutes worth of chat to like scroll through, and that's the best part. That's my favorite part, is to go through the chat. Dang it all. So I see folks rolling in. We'll give it, I guess, a minute or two to see if other folks will roll over. But I see Eric and Margaret and Lady D and Marika. What's going on, Marika? How's it going? And Keith and Jasper. Yes. So let's see. I'm checking my to-do list while people are finding their way over. Let's see. I mentioned that Soren made me a meme that was like at the top of my to-do list. Oh, I was going to say, Maeve says, I thought it was my internet. Yeah, it was my internet. My internet totally went, what? And then took a minute to come back. And then I thought that the other stream would reconnect, but it never reconnected the video. So, but Lady D says, we were talking about me being a perfectionist as a blogger. You know, what did I watch? I listened to recently Luke Jordan's interview on the Niche Pursuits podcast, which I think that if you haven't checked it out, that you should. I'm a big fan of Luke, by the way, and I hope he knows that. And Luke, if you catch this, I'm a fan. But Luke did a cool thing where he sort of bucking the trend of, churning out as much cheap content as possible and having lots of sites. He decided to go all in on one of his sites, and has invested heavily in just one site. And instead of going with, minimal theme, like he invested in a custom theme. And instead of buying, as cheap of content from possible, like he's hired people directly and is working and training people directly. And, he's just really invested heavily into a site that is now, I don't know what it's making now, but last fall it was making what, $40,000 a month. And you could say, oh well, perfectionism isn't required, but I think that's a pretty good example of what can happen when you do maintain really high standards and invest heavily in time or in money into articles. So maybe the answer is don't worry about it. And if it takes days and days to create the content, then you would be investing heavily in your site, and it would have the most amazing content ever. And that when people do hit on it, they will stay, right? You will earn more over time because people really find it amazing, and an amazing, like the best resource. So, you know, when you surround yourself with people who are posting hundreds of articles a month, right? Like you hang out and talk to Growth Scatter. I think his goal is like absurd. Like it's so many articles in a year. You feel this pressure. You're like, I need to post more. I need to post more. I need to post more. But maybe you should just go your own way and do what works right for you and what's best for you. And maybe that is just spending a week on an article and not worry about what the rest of us are doing. Anyway, I feel like I'm nodding a lot. It might be that I've finally had enough caffeine. For folks that are coming over from the other stream, I am sorry about the internet. I got nothing. I have no idea why that happened and what will prevent it from happening again. That happens. Marika says that she is doing well and cranking out content on one site only. I would love to hear about your progress, my dear, and how you feel about things, and if your strategy has changed, and just I don't know. I love hearing updates. Graham is here. What is going on, Graham? Thanks for dropping in. Keith says maybe the internet glitch was Google finally indexing our sites. Yes, it was like a massive like wave, just like poof, and then everybody is all good, right? It just the internet had to go down for a minute while Google was just doing it all at once. Pete says that walking in the park at the worst connection point, and he thought it was just that. Turns out it was me. It was not you. It was me. There's Josh. What's going on? He says better late than never. I said, well, Josh, you made it here and you totally missed like the internet just bailing on us, betraying me and the rest of us. So far we've talked about Soren's meme, and we talked about the Icarus project, how the month one video may be underwhelming, so just prepare yourself. Oh, I was gonna say that I've been using Soap Robot for 4 or 5 months now. I had really just not done much with keyword trackers at all for a long time. I just didn't use them, and some of my blogging friends were like, "How could you do this work and not use a keyword tracker?" And I was like, "Well, whatever." But I started using it, and it helped me identify better which articles were not indexed, even though Google was saying that they were indexed. And so I would manually index articles that showed green and already indexed in Google Search Console, but weren't showing up in SERP Robot. And then they would start showing up in SERP Robot and getting traffic. So that's pretty much what I've used it for, but primarily for so not for the mom blog, not for I'm using it primarily on the Miga site, and I had put some other sites on there and then deleted them because I didn't want to have to buy more keywords. So on the Miga site right now, I have like 650 keywords entered into it. And up until last week, my average keyword like position was 35. And then over the course of like 1 or 2 days, it jumped to a 22. And I checked it this morning and it's down to an 18, which is like a dramatic shift when you have over 600 keywords entered. But here's the thing, right? You would think, oh, like that's a sign that Google is maybe indexing content, or what's going on. But I'm not seeing like a dramatic shift in traffic in Google Analytics. So I don't know for sure what is going on, if there's been some sort of adjustment within SERP Robot, or if something is changing. But you think, okay, like keywords coming in and then traffic coming out. But so far, it's just like a fun number to look at. Be like, woohoo, the average rank is this. Um, but if it doesn't produce traffic and money, then it's kind of like, So anyway, I just thought I would say that. It's totally unrelated to anything else. Let's see. Harold, what's going on? Thanks for dropping in. Sonia says she put out 3 articles in the last week, feeling less burnout. Yes, sometimes taking a break is what you need to do. I do them. I took a break this last weekend, and I'm gearing up to get lots of stuff done. Eric says that he thinks we should try as much quality content as possible without being a perfectionist, but it's not easy. Yeah, finding the balance is a challenge. So what's good enough to get the traffic without being so good that you don't post enough to really maximize what you could earn? Yes. Stig says, oh, good. You started on time, 12:30. Actually, I started on time, but the internet said, bye, Felicia, about 10 minutes ago. So I had to start over. It was just in time because you're on time. So there we go. Graham says his website visitors just hit it and quit it. Totally fine with that. So that would be the challenge for you then, Graham, is to figure out a way to capture them. Because if they could just stay on the site just a little bit longer, or go and look to one more article, then that could definitely translate to money, and maybe some signals to Google that other articles on your site are worthy of this time and attention. I think it's a good challenge. Mersic says it's working fine now. Yes, well, I restarted the stream and I don't know what happened. Maybe one of my neighbors was doing something really silly and crashed the whole neighborhood. I don't know. Josh said, sounds like I had a blast. What? When? What did I do? Like, like today? Pete says 18 is bottom of page 2 won't make a traffic difference. I know, Pete. I'm not saying that every single article is on page 2 in position 18. I'm saying that the average position went from 35 to 18, which means that the average means that there are more articles above 18 than there were before to bring it up, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Chris says, didn't get the notification. And I say, don't worry about it, Chris. This is the second stream of the day. The internet went blah, and then so we had to start over. So it'll give you 2 replays to catch if you wanted to go back and catch everything. I did shout you out earlier for on the argument to spend more time on content and make it perfect versus the like good enough is good enough. I was like, oh, Chris will be like, make it the best possible because that's Chris. Crashing my internet world. Yes. Yes. There was some sort of blast. Somebody, somewhere, something basically mass interrupted all of our Netflix and all of our internet. Pete says, you lost me at no notification. I did get a notification for the first stream, but not the second. So YouTube apparently says that that I've been notified enough. Where is the giraffe? Eric wants dad jokes. Josh, now that you're here. The other thing we are missing is what is Carl cooking for tea? Carl, if you catch us on the replay, please put in the comments below so that we may feel complete. Pete says, yes, I know. Yes, I know. I was one of those ones telling you that you should be tracking keywords. Yes, I know. He knows how SERP Robot works. And guess what? So do I. Josh says, which bear is the most condescending? A panda. Thank you. Thank you, Josh. Oh, one of the things that I wanted to do, and this is something I've been wanting to do actually for a while because I do get contact frequently from folks who are either looking for writers or are looking for writing. So this is a chance for folks who are in the chat who are either have writers who they don't have enough work for them and they want to recommend them. Or if you were, I mean, generally we're not supposed to spam or like self-promote, but I'm going to say in the chat right now, if you are a publisher who needs content, or if you are a publisher and freelancer and you want to write, or if you were here just as a freelancer and want to write, this is the time for you to go into the chat and say, hey, I am looking for X. Like I am looking for writing work. I could do X number of articles a week here. You know, if I know the folks, I will say, hey, I know this person. You know, if I've seen their website, hopefully they will tell me in the chat if I can say, I mean, obviously I'm not going to share the website, but you can tell me, you say, hey, you know, Amelia can confirm that she's seen my site and I'm happy to do that. If I've worked with the individuals, I will say so. But really, this is a chance to sort of, I guess, community like crowdsource, because I have talked to many of you one-on-one, you know, on Facebook Messenger, Discord, or whatever, who say, one, that they are looking for writing work or would like to do more writing work. And then there are some folks who need writers really bad, who like, I'm not happy with, you know, this specific agency and would like to hire somebody directly. So if you are one of those people, like, please feel free to put it in the chat. I'm not going to ask often, but I think it's a really great time to share that. And I will read through the comments as I get to them, as I get caught up. Stig says, why does the internet call you Felicia? I said, it's my middle name. Amelia Felicia. Josh says, how do you get a country girl's attention? A tractor. Mirsik says, When they say you have to love the topic you blog about to make it easier to yourself, I would add that you should learn to love to type on a keyboard and use the mouse. You know, if you can, the faster you can type, the more easily you can create content. That is true. So if you are a slow typist, then maybe doing like, the kids like typing games, where you have to like do things like capture the letters that's going down or type the words. Those are really great for typing. I also think that actually chatting online, like in chat rooms, that's where I learned to type actually while without looking down, because when I first started using ICQ back in the day when ICQ was a thing, or even AOL Instant Messenger, like if you were looking down and typing, like the chat would just go on while you're down here like doing this. So that was when I was really forced to like look up and type at things, because otherwise, like by the time I got my message in, the conversation had moved on. I'd be like, oh, but my comment was so timely and pertinent. Josh says, what would the Terminator be called in his retirement? The Exterminator. That's a good one. And if my kids had actually seen that movie, I think I would use it on them, but they would completely miss the reference right now. Why is Peter Pan always flying? Because he never lands. That is a good one. I'm going to use that one. Mm. Zach says that he needs a writer that can do please 3+ articles a week. More is better. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to share the niche if you don't want to, but any information that will help people, or what is the best way for someone to get a hold of you if they were interested in trying to write for you, because I don't think that you're so great